many times played against the Guinevere, because what you do is to pop your own
over.
Absolutely. Tricky scenario, but if there's anything that esports have told us, is that everything can happen. Anything can happen. This is how competition can be. And who knows, maybe Bushido Wildcats, when backed in the corner, will actually show their wild spirit, you know, their animal instincts. That they will be more dangerous if they're in a corner. Just like this one. Look at that. The chain stunts will be good. Zaykeep survives. Gets to level 2 just in time so that he will be able to split. And I think that was just perfect timing coming up from Zaykeep.
Yeah, saved by the bell, but you could see it. You mentioned it. The river skirmishes, Wolf, those layers of crowd control that they can chain together, they can build through this, giving Zaykeep difficulty in rotating.
Maybe just skip the lanes, just fast clear the lanes, get out of there as soon as possible, and then team fight afterwards. That also is true for the Guinevere.
At least Numb gets away. Arrow 4-4 had to use a deadly magic. Meanwhile, the EXP lane Contepper desperate and getting that this could be bad for him. He's just terrifies from especially the Melissa. It sounds demanding, yes, but it should be good. Oh!
Survives.
Right on the money. Contepper still actually survives. We thought he'd get taken out, but I think he already used the eye for an eye, but he did use the Petrify, and Sizka chose not to purify it, so that's what happened. But Sunshine up top needs to be careful. Error 404 is there nearby. He tosses out the deadly magics, messes up Sunshine's flow of team fighting as he baited Sunshine to get a little bit closer to him. He's still trying to go after Natko! A two-man outplay towards the Paquito. And because of the fury of the Phoenix from Clockun, they were able to spot out Nub, who tried to back him up and tried to follow up with a kill onto the Melissa. But in the Turtle Pit, Bushido Wildcats will be able to get their first of the series.
All things considered, Bushido Wildcats almost won that fight up top. They forced the rotation coming out from the Harley, and they adjusted focusing on the turtle, so they get something out of nothing. But of course, losing the gold lane, Paquito in the early stages is not a good sign. Natko almost died in there up top. The moment that Sunshine gets more, he will have the distinct advantage over the Melissa, but only now the movement coming from Team Vamos, the way that they approach this is just to try and go for a 2v1. But now, try to go for a kill onto Num will just get away in there. And with all due fairness, Bushido Wildcats, they have the lead.
Yeah, you could see the hesitation also from Vamos in the sense that even though they were able to get the Cho onto the grab, not of course the best target for everyone to just jump on. You saw that Vamos is really respecting the crowd control surprise burst capability if they decide to go in. You do still have the passive on the Zetian. You still have space escapes and everything. Contepper is going to get dove on this time by two members of Team Vamos. He tries to use the electro final blow to survive for as long as he could. Maybe popped it a little bit too early, but at that point, Vamos just force it out of him. They get a kill. Up top, Bushido trying to make a rotation towards the Melissa. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they get the arrow off onto the glue, and the perfect kick. There's a counter dive with the fury of the Phoenix, but it's not going to amount to anything as Bushido have finally been able to show off what they can do, not just in the series, but here in GOTF with a good start in game number 2.
Ooh, finally, we've seen. It's just a sight to see that they are utilizing their lineup in a way that they have the advantage. When we talked about their lineup, it's really good in river fights. Not in the laning stages, in the 1v1s, but in river skirmishes. We're going to see them flourish. And the fact that they are now ahead by 1,000 gold means that they can fight again. Neutral objectives are key for them. They will have 5 people in here. And there's no chance that Team Vamos is loot. What a kick onto the Uranus though, not the best one. And up to the backside, Sunshine already forces out the Harley. The Guinevere will take the turtle, and now they will be able to punish Sizka, who in front of 4 members of Bushido Wildcats. Now the Melissa wants to go for a poke in here, but that means that Bushido Wildcats will just collect some of the jungle creeps. They still want to look for the Harley, but they will not find him.
This is what we're looking for from Bushido, and finally they get to show it off. They know exactly what they need to do, but the outplay, the go away is perfect, and there is no burn to finish off not go. It ends just in time. They're able to recover somewhat. Bushido are still controlling the map. They are still controlling the sides and the river, and despite that small win, still have to climb back.
This is look now for Bushido Wildcats, now alive in the division, alive in Games of the Future. They also took out 2 turrets. When we said that this lineup is good when it comes to river skirmishes, we saw that once again, but this time I like what Sunshine did. He was the one that forced out Error 404 out of position. And now they want to go for this orange invasion. Will not be in time for that one. They just took away the jungle camp, the Rock Ursa. So that's my wondering, Kevin. Another kick show followed up with the stun. They do have the damage this time, and the Purify was not enough. Imagine a 3-man unit that can take out the Uranus. This is looking real good for the Wildcats.
Finally get to see them, and they're doing really well. No hesitation. I feel like the coach, that little talk that he gave his team really worked out too. Here comes the Fury of the Phoenix. It stuns a lot of members of Bushido. It means that Nub won't be able to get the opening that he wants with the kick. While Vamos, safely behind their first turret and in between their first and second, are not going to lose any members heading into turtle number 3. Though Bushido still have the control in the map, this is the time for Vamos to find the turnaround in this major 3rd turtle. While members of Bushido are managing the map, they can turn it around here.
Oh, looking. Definitely can turn this around. They're gonna be looking for the right angle and approach his team fight. They will be focusing on the turtle right now. And this means that they can group around and find another team fight in the orange buff, which will spawn in 12 seconds. I think that's but the kick. Oh, I mean the arrow into the kick, into the Valor Requiem. No waking up for Siska. That's death number 3 for the Uranus. And onto the backside, they want to go for a kill of the Melissa, forcing out the go away. The glue will be able to ult onto the Benedetta. The Benedetta will likely fall. It will be the case, but in exchange, they will now have momentum. Arrow flies, does not hit. They will go for the orange buff, and they stole it away. Bushido Wildcats, the aggression is real.
And Vamos look overwhelmed with all the crowd control, with everything flying towards them at any given moment. Contemporary didn't need to go down there, but he was able to do the job of taking Nako out of the fight. Meanwhile, up top, Siska gets dove upon again by the Roam. And the jungle of Bushido alongside the Paquito. They're not going to be able to take down the Uranus, but they did take down the tower. Bushido, they are still within tempo. They are still at their pace. But it might get to the point where if this Melissa is online and just one wrong move by Bushido, Vamos can turn it around. But so far, it's looking like Bushido know exactly what they need to do and exactly when to do it. Bottom side rotation now. 4 members of Vamos here. How aggressive will Bushido Wildcats be in this attempt? They go ahead and kick the glue. Contemper with the Electro final blow, but now they get countered by the Fury of the Phoenix. This is exactly what we were just talking about. Contemper gets taken out. The glue is riding here onto the Joe, and Team Vamos are looking to get even more kills. Error 404 chasing after Nexus alongside Siska. Vamos cannot find any more bodies. That is just 1. But Bushido Wildcats got nothing out of that.
Real estate controlled. I think that is what they were able to achieve in there. Team Vamos will have to correct the lanes for now. 9 seconds before the Lord. The position will be better for the Bushido Wildcats. However, gotta be careful. Team Vamos will now want to group up together. But still waiting for the 3rd item to not go, which means that the Trinity is not available yet on this Melissa. That means that their 5v5 is not as strong as the Wildcats when it comes to head-on collision, especially when Numb gets a pick-off. Will they go for the Uranus once again as a target of the kick? This is very exciting. Arrow flies, Red Mar, it seems like the Lord Dance is about to commence.
And it's going really well right now for Bushido Wildcats. Clockman does not have the Fury of the Phoenix, just has Ziki for the conceal. Finds a little bit of a better angle, gets information on Numb, Nexus, and Kirai. They know that the Benedetta is up top too. There's a slow minion wave, a big one, pushing in the bottom lane of Team Vamos, and they need to go faster. It looks like they will. They're going to go ahead and try to force a reaction out of Bushido Wildcats. Sunshine coming in from the wings. So is the Benedetta. Numb trying to bait out abilities from Vamos. Do they know the Petrify? Electro Final Blow combo gets stopped a little bit from the passive, but Arrow 404 is down. Kirai gets taken out, but Netco somehow gets the last hit, and it all looked too good. Maybe it was too good to be true. Vamos wins it.
Unbelievable coming out from Vamos. Bushido Wildcats already initiated well with Gunteber. However, there wasn't any follow-up. That's the problem. They have a lot of stuns, but they weren't able to chain it together. And the reason why that is because the positioning coming up from Team Vamos and the fact that the Fury of the Phoenix is the perfect way to counter the dive comp. After the jump coming up from the Benedetta, the Fury of the Phoenix information as well as the extra stun allowed for Natko as well as the other members of Team Vamos to collect themselves, utilize this Melissa in a very offensive manner while the glue as well as the units are protecting them. And of course, Error 404 and just dealt enough damage and enough disruption that the Wildcats' formation was crumbling. Natko, the MVP, for some reason, those needles was enough to take out the Lord. And now Team Vamos are back in the game.
Numb trying to find a conceal angle, but isn't going to be committing it. Vamos know that they have the lead. This is the moment that they were waiting for. Bushido handled this as well as they could with the lineup that they had. They get an arrow, but the Fury of the Phoenix gets brought out again! We talked about the impact of this Zetian, and it's been felt over and over with every team fight. But in these past two major moments, it's the sad reality that Bushido now has to deal with. They did everything they could, but this was inevitable for the lineup that they were up against. Despite them getting a kick onto Ziki, he just gets to split away. And Ziska can just now do this. Body the members of Bushido in their own base.
Push commences. A lot of problems. Now Bushido Wildcats have to correct. Now damage coming out from Natko is just immense. We talked about how the Trinity is not available yet for the Melissa, but this time it is now available. Just one team fight win was all it took. And now even Siska is not the target anymore for Bushido Wildcats. He's not an easy target anymore with the Purify being available. And of course, the Melissa that can turn things around in case. Zetian Ultimate is almost available as well, coming out from Clockun. 2-0-5 on the Zetian, the mid laner for Team Vamos. I can engage once again. It's 30 seconds before the Lord. And it might well be the last team fight for both of these teams if Vamos takes it.
It's Bushido who decides to take it. They decide to jump onto the Uranus, but now they're getting sandwiched here by the members of Vamos. Fury of the Phoenix is not going to land, but that does provide all the information. Not with the kick defensively. The Violent Requiem to try and stop the members of Team Vamos from jumping onto them, but it seems like it was inevitable after all. They try to go in with the Electro Final Blow, but Natko is down. Natko is down. The game isn't over yet. Whip us back into the portal. I'm trying to hear if we can get information. It's not over yet. Bushido is still alive, and they've taken out 4 members of Vamos.
I would say something really smart, Renmar, but I did not see what exactly happened in there. What we do know is that the Wildcats are not out just yet, and there is the Lord. Potential kick. No. That's gonna be the passive. No, not even the passive to Zetian actually. Pop, that was just a flicker. They tried to go in. However, it's gonna be enough for them to take this Lord. There's a minion wave up top that has to be handled by Vamos as well. Sunshine takes it. It's not over, Redmar. It's not over yet. Hang on, everyone. We might see something historic coming soon. This is the best game that Bushido Wildcats have played so far. They are up against Team Vamos. Error 404 checks out that bush, checks where Numb is. Team Vamos are feeling that they have to gather themselves together. They have to move as 5, which I think is the right decision here.
Vamos are probably just as surprised as we are. Maybe even they themselves were feeling that they were getting whipped into the portal. But Bushido had other plans. The best they looked, as you mentioned, tournament life is what they're fighting for. with a lineup that at this point should be struggling, just pulled off the defense of a lifetime. They layered their crowd control perfectly. Heroics from Kunteper and everyone else to make sure that they can find the Melissa. Bushido, can they do it? But it's still a tall mountain to climb with all of the minions and towers they need to break.
Okay. Team Vamos are perfect, are playing the defense perfectly. Now they want to go for a pick of it. I don't know how that happened, but Kunteper actually was taken out a pivotal piece of the Bushido Wildcats composition. Fortunately, it's just 15 minutes into this game, and there is no real estate lead for Team Vamos when it comes to the minion wave right now. So they can wait for 25 more seconds, clear out their own jungle camps, but Team Vamos wants to take advantage of this. They're pressing the attack in the middle, positioning themselves. Lord is still 70 seconds away. Wildcats will not be punished from that pickoff.
Room to build, exactly, is what the death of the Benedetta has now given for Vamos. Minion waves up top will be pushing. A slow push down bottom. An even slower push through the mid. It's going to be a lot of minion waves for Vamos to deal with. Kunteper has returned. So Bushido has 40 plus seconds to work with in terms of getting some semblance of map control, but Vamos doesn't want to give it. Conceal play to break this tower up top, to make the base go bald. No more towers here. The Abyssal Arrow lands onto the Zetyan. They pop Clockon. They force the Fury of the Phoenix, and they find Error 404 in the center. Nub, Sunshine, and Nexus have done it. No jungler for Vamos, and now Bushido is going for the chase. It's their turn for advantage. It's their turn for a clearer shot at this next Lord.
Wow, what a roller coaster of a game. I can't believe that this is what we're witnessing. Team Vamos looks like they had it in them already, but now they have lost their jungler. They have to somehow delay this Lord take long enough for the Harley to be alive in 10 seconds. Bushido Wildcats, they want to burst. Redmar, it seems like they want to kill Num now.
Can they get him? Knock up onto the Melissa, forces out the Purify. He didn't need that Inspire after all. Natko is double killing everyone. A shutdown of the Makino. Natko, but Kirai somehow miraculously gets the last hit on the Lord. But it's just the Selena remaining. He gets an arrow and a combo off onto the glue. But try as he did, it was inevitable after all. Glockon is deathless. Natko with the heroics. Bushido, thank you for your efforts, but Vamos will qualify for the playoffs.